So how I was telling you about that Story in Star Wars podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Story in Star Wars podcast was awesome, and the host guy was really cool. And I found out he does like a bunch of other podcasts, and some of them he does with his wife because they're both like writers and like they study story and storytelling.
That's cool.
And I started listening to one about Buffy the Vampire Slayer because we watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's amazing.
We do.
And I was so annoyed because his wife must have sat like right next to the microphone.
Like this.
And he must have sat like a little farther away. She was like active listening and would like say yeah and stuff like that while he was talking. So I couldn't hear what he was saying because she kept saying yeah and stuff over it. I really want to hear what he's saying. I'm really interested in what he's saying. And I had no problem with her being on the podcast. I just wish she could like
Yeah.
just shut up for 5 seconds.
For those just tuning in, this comes up because I realized listening to the second podcast that I do way too much active listening. I need to tone it back a little bit.
Maybe we should try like nodding.
Sure.
Active listening.
We'll nod at the microphone.
We're nodding. You can't see.
God.
Business. Okay, so the first point of follow-up I have is business. I want to talk about we need to promote, rate, and review because it's really important for podcasts to get traction.
I don't know what that means. We're doing weird hand motions too. Well, Josh is. I'm just imitating. I thought it was a podcast thing.
So when you're on iTunes, a big thing is getting ratings and reviews, and it's important for some reason to have like reviews, not just ratings.
Yeah.
I don't know why that gains you like more traction.
I don't know. It's like anyone can click 5 stars, but if you actually care about it, you write something.
Yeah, and I know like a moderately big podcast might have 50 reviews. So we have, I think, like 5.
Woo!
Woo! If just like 30 more people went out and reviewed. Also, I had a really cool idea for this. So,
okay.
2 things. So when you rate, pick your star number. If you don't feel like writing an actual review out, you can do one of 2 things. You can either tell us a project you're personally working on, and we'll talk about it on the show. Be like, hey, look, someone just said they're starting an Etsy shop. Someone just said they're trying to get back into knitting. I don't know.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll just like mention it. Like, and we'll see how many we can get, how many different cool projects we can get.
Like, hey, so-and-so likes to do this thing.
And the other thing, just because it's fun to create competition and tension, is to say Mike or Josh.
That's good,
Mike
too.
or Josh?
Mike or
I don't know
Josh.
why you would say Mike or Josh. I've never heard of that word.
Let us know what you're doing, or let us know.
Ooh,
Mike
Joshua Taylor
or Josh.
likes Adults in Training on iTunes. I should probably like it too, but
That's the other part of business I want to talk about, is that we have a bunch of social media sites that I painstakingly... Oh! We're looking at the reviews, and our friend Bill put... The title of the review was, It's Good, and it was 5 stars, and he put, It's good.
I like his review because I feel like it's short and to the point and really gives you a good idea of what the podcast's about.
Anyway, I made all these super annoying to make social media sites, which is like, as someone who's tried to do creative stuff like this before, the most annoying part of doing it is social media promotion. But we have a Twitter at, I think it's at AIT Podcast.
If you say
It's
so.
Adults in Training Podcast. So the at is the little circle symbol, the A in it, if you do not know. But I don't know how you would not know if you were listening to a
I was
podcast.
gonna say, if you didn't know that, then you can figure out how to listen to podcasts.
And if you want to ask us a question, you can tweet us at AIT, or you could use the hashtag AskAIT. So
Still hoping for some really weird questions
Or-
by accident.
you can, I'm going to be posting like on the Facebook, so we have a Facebook site, Adults in Training. You can, when you like us, I'll be posting like, hey, we're going to be recording tonight or tomorrow. Give us some questions or comments, anything you want to talk about and follow up.
Yeah.
So I actually did that, and I had one person
Oh, nice.
Sam, my girlfriend.
I've heard her.
Respond. And we have a Tumblr, and I'll leave the ask open for people to ask us questions on Tumblr. And there might be questions I get back to using the Tumblr before even, like, you could get it from me right then and there, and you don't even have to wait for the podcast. I'll answer you on Tumblr. And some I'll save for the podcast. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I started a subreddit. So I'm, like, new to Reddit, but I think it's...
never Reddited.
I think it's pretty cool, because I like the way the upvoting stuff.
Should ask Tony Stank.
Tony Stank. That's an inside joke that no one's gonna get.
That's fine.
I totally blanked for a second. I'm gonna have to cut out that super long pause I just did.
Pause. Just add that in.
And cut out all the ums I am making. That's something that took me forever to do when I was... I didn't realize how many times I said
That you ummed.
Yeah, and you a decent amount too. Like, I think it's just like a human thing, but I like ummed a lot.
Yeah.
I have a suggestion for that. In my class for professional development, every time you said you owed the jar 25 cents.
Nope. Don't have that much money.
Yeah.
It will keep you from saying
What do we do with the ums?
I love how you just said it'll keep you from saying...
No, she
No,
said
she said,
That's different. Well, what do we do with the money when we're done?
spend it in Disney. Oh, well, I guess after that,
I don't know if we're going to even be recording again before Disney. Maybe in Disney.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. There's no reason not to. We probably have at least an hour of downtime over the week.
Not if I can help it.
What about at night when we get home?
You're going to be so tired.
You want to rest up the very next one of the next day.
And you won't be able to meet your goals
All right.
before then. 'Cause
We
you'll be
need
on
to...
vacation.
We need to stop having audience member participation.
Audience participation.
My participation is super valuable.
Yeah,
okay?
but part of the problem is you're really quiet in the background, so I have to cut a lot of it out anyway. So you're just making...
So this is just going to be a weird conversation that me and Josh have that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and...
What do you do with the jar? We could record in Disney.
So they just start thinking you're schizophrenic.
Well,
Reddit. So I just started Reddit more recently, but I know it's like a really cool place for discussion. So I made a subreddit for adults in training, and I think it'd be cool if every time we post a video, we start a discussion.
do I have the power to ban people from it?
Yes. Well, you need to make a Reddit account, and I'll add you.
Cool.
So
I wasn't sure if you could get banned from Reddit.
You can't ban. You can't ban people from Reddit.
Well, I meant specific.
From the subreddit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
So you can lay down the ban hammer.
Good.
Oh, you have to make an Reddit account just so you can.
Damn. But I've heard that most people are very reasonable with that and don't often ban people for no good reason.
Yep.
Yep.
Definitely haven't dealt with that. Okay.
Okay.
So, what was... Okay, so I'm gonna put links...
What is that word?
SKIT.
Oh, it looks like as Kate.
It does look like
Well,
SKIT.
I hope that's not already an N hashtag.
It's not a hashtag, I've looked it up.
Okay.
It is like a Spanish word or something that pops up a lot on Spanish people's Twitter feeds.
Perfect.
So,
Maybe we'll get some unintentional Hispanic listeners.
I'm going to post links to all of our social media stuff. And I'll post a link for you guys so you can go to iTunes if you want to rate and review us. And if you don't like listening to iTunes, it'd be cool if you rate us there anyway. And if you don't like listening to us on iTunes, you can listen on SoundCloud, on YouTube, and iTunes is the other one. What are you making that face for? What? Oh,
She's staring at me.
there's a picture of the Virgin Mary staring at my...
But it says Steven on some heart, and it's like really creeping me out a little bit. But anyway, it's just, I can't...
Try that active listening again.
Yeah. That's what happens when I don't active listening. I get drawn into the eyes of some weird picture of sad Mary.
Okay, so I think that's all the follow-up related to the social media stuff. Now we're 10 minutes in talking about that. Also due to some audience participation.
Yeah.
The next part is my growing list of musical influences.
Should never asked.
I have added Red Hot Chili Peppers because I think they're really cool and versatile, although I have heard that Anthony Kudos is kind of a jerk.
That's a shame.
I don't know if it's true or not, but
I like the Chili Peppers. I know they kind of get a bad rap just because they're like so overplayed anymore, but
I feel like they're overplayed because they're good though.
yeah.
I like pretty much every song like I hear by them.
Yeah.
And Flea is like my favorite bassist probably.
He's pretty good.
He can slap into bass. I put Billy Joel on there, who also gets a lot of radio play.
Yeah.
And I love Billy Joel.
I like a lot of Billy Joel, but from what I hear, I've never seen Billy Joel in concert, but I hear that Billy Joel sucks now, and that he hates his life and just phones it in at all his concerts.
He's like an alcoholic.
Is he? Wow, that's some mudslinging that I wasn't ready to get into. I hope Billy Joel's not listening.
Elton John talked about it before because they're like really close friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I forget who it was. They told me in concert recently. It might have been Bill actually.
Oh. Okay.
Not recently, but like in the past 5 years maybe, and he said it was just so phoned in. He just obviously didn't want to be there.
He might be sick of playing the same songs.
Well, maybe he should write new good songs. Unfortunately, he doesn't really do that. That's his own fault.
Yeah.
But I do like Billy Joel.
Musically, yeah.
Yeah. Not as a person.
I also have Mumford and Sons. I like them a lot. You don't like them?
I have a lot of conflicting feelings about Mumford and Sons. A, it's because Kimmy listens to them on loop. B, it's because their new stuff stinks.
I like their new stuff.
I think it sounds like generic. It's like the new Nickelback. It's that generic. It's not Nickelback.
Sound like Nickelback.
No, it doesn't sound like Nickelback. But what I'm saying is, it's just such a generic sound. It's like generic late 2000s rock. And the reason I don't like it is because Marcus Mumford has gone on record to say oh, the banjos and the vests and blah blah blah. That's not us. That was something we were forced into by our record label and blah 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 blah. I know I'm going to get some hate from some Mumford and Sons fans if anyone actually listens. But he said all this. They were talking about it on 104.5 not that long ago. And I'm like, that's what made you guys popular. That's what everybody likes. And you're just crapping all over it. It's kind of like MGMT. I really like some of their music, but they crap all over their fans and stuff all the time.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like for him to be now we're just gonna sound less distinct, and I don't hate their new music, but I find all their new music very easily palatable. It's there's nothing challenging about it. There's nothing interesting about it. It's all just it feels very generic.
Okay.
And I haven't given the new album a ton of airtime in my bedroom alone with the lights off, but it's just, I don't know.
Alright, so
I hope they can overcome that.
Okay.
So I feel like they're talented individuals.
To be fair, I've only heard really what's on the radio, and I like that with the new stuff, but I do really like their old stuff.
I like some of their old stuff a lot.
Especially the first album, I could, like Kimmy, play on. And lyrically, as we all know, I love lyrics because, I was an English major and I like writing.
We actually had an opportunity to see Quincy Mumford, who is one of the Mumfords, in Asbury Park the other night, and it's surprising that Kimmy didn't jump all over it because she's super hard for Mumford and Sons, but we turned it down. But my dad's girlfriend's daughter, which is a really awkward relation to me. It's his long-term girlfriend. They've been together for 4 or 5 years, so I know her pretty well. But she was like, "Hey, you guys want to see Quincy Mumford? Because I need a ride." And we're like, "Maybe, but probably not, because $12 is a lot to see someone from Mumford and Sons perform at a small, intimate venue." I hope she's listening to this.
She is, and she's making lots of faces. And
Oh, I meant Dana, my dad's girlfriend's daughter.
I thought you were talking about Kimmy, because it seems like she disagrees with you on some points.
I'm not really sure why.
We can get into it after the recording.
Can we disagree?
Okay, so this is, we talked about last time.
Yes.
Okay, so for people who might have missed last episode or skipping around for whatever weird reason.
Yeah, do a little recap.
Mike has been watching with his younger brother Joey all of the Star Wars movies before they could see Force Awakens.
Right, which we've seen already, and he loved it, and he's a good person for liking it, and if you didn't like it, you're not a good person. It's pretty much my standard at this point.
Joey knew had it spoiled that Anakin was... no, not that Anakin, that Darth Vader was Luke's father.
Right.
But he didn't know that Anakin turned into Darth Vader.
Right.
And he thought, his theory was, when he found out that Anakin's last name was Skywalker, that he was Luke Skywalker's brother.
Yes.
So we said we were gonna let you guys know his reaction when he found out that Anakin was really Darth Vader. So what happened? Okay,
so we're watching Revenge of the Sith. This is actually the day after we recorded the last podcast, and the scene comes up where, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Revenge of the Sith, Mace Windu and Chancellor Palpatine, Chancellor at the time, later Emperor, have their lightsaber fight, and Mace Windu's got him on the ropes, and Anakin shows up, and Mace Windu's like, we have to kill him, and Anakin's like, no, we can't, he needs to be tried before a court, blah blah, and Joey's like, they can't kill him, that's not the Jedi way. And so we had to pause the movie, and he and I had to have a big talk about what's the Jedi way, because the Jedi are pretty big hypocrites, really, if you break it down. But anyway, unpause the movie after like a 5-minute debate with my 7-year-old brother. So we continue watching, and Anakin cuts off Mace Windu's hands, or hand, I don't know if it's both. I think it's just the one.
I think he just cuts off the one.
With the lightsaber, yeah. And then Palpatine blasts him out the window and everything, and Joey's like stunned, and we have to pause the movie again. And he's like, why would he do that? What? He just got him killed. Why would he do that? And I was like, well, he wanted to save Padme, and he thought that Palpatine was the only way he could do it. He's like, but that's not the Jedi way either. He should have let him kill him. It doesn't matter. He's bad. He should have let him kill him. So he finally came around to my way of thinking. So I'm like, okay. And so we unpaused the movie, and after talking about it for a few minutes and the moral repercussions and why someone would do something so stupid, and we continue the movie, and he kneels before Palpatine, and he's like, arise, Lord Vader. And Joey's face, like his hands go up to his mouth, his eyes get super wide, and he's just like I'm not sure if he's like gonna cry or what. Like he's like in such shock. I had to pause the movie again, and I like just let him sit there, and he was just silent for like I'm not kidding, like 5 minutes. Just silent. Hands over his mouth, like shocked and appalled. And I was finally like, I tried to talk to him once or twice, and he just like was non-responsive, like catatonic. And finally, I'm like, what do you think? And he's just like, how is he? What? And he just like couldn't articulate. He was like so shocked. He just couldn't speak in full sentences for like 10 minutes. Like I even went to unpause the movie, and he asked me to pause it again. Like, and like he just had to like process everything, and then we talked about it, and like you could just see like light bulb after light bulb turning on in his head, and all these connections he was making. And it was really cool because he's 7 and has never seen all the movies straight through, for those who didn't listen to the last week or last podcast. But it was just pretty hysterical, and I was glad that he at least had that shocking moment, since he didn't have the I am your father shocking moment. Like he knew that was coming already. So I felt like it was pretty equal in shock level. Yeah. So I was happy with it.
Alright. I'm glad I put follow up in that, because it's a good story.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about it today.
So the next thing is, did you notice the little theme song?
Yeah, I wasn't really sure about that, so I don't know.
I put a little theme song in the first one, and I was like, this is good, I like this. And then I listened to it again once I'd released it, and I was like, that was not good.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Okay,
so
I'm glad we agree.
That was terrible. I was like, but I'm not going to completely take down the first episode.
Yeah.
So I just left it out of the second episode. So I feel like there are people who are probably like, was there a little theme song? What was
I
the deal
wasn't
with
sure
that?
what it was. I thought it might have been like an error or something when you were uploading, and I was gonna let it slide.
Yeah, and it was only 5 seconds long, so it didn't really stop the thing.
Yeah.
But like a lot of podcasts I know like have little theme songs that are just a few seconds long. And I tried.
Boop, boop, boop. Podcast.
Yeah.
That
So
can-
I tried to write a little one, but it didn't.
It didn't take.
It didn't.
Maybe we'll grow into a theme song
Yeah.
as time goes on, or maybe our listeners can submit theme songs, and then next podcast, if we have a few, we can play them for you, and you guys can decide.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
It would be pretty. It could be cool depending on what people submit. Could be really interesting.
Okay, so this actually put the last time we were gonna record, and it was the day David Bowie died.
Yeah.
So I was sad because David Bowie died. Is the follow up?
That's
I
good
was
follow-up.
I was sad because David Bowie died, and I have here that I think I'm gonna record a video, and I did record a video because that was in the past. I covered.
He did die in the past.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Monday. Today is next Monday.
Today is next Monday.
Today is the Monday after that Monday.
That's gonna be really confusing for our listeners.
I'm gonna leave it in.
Yeah, that's fine.
We were originally gonna record a week ago, and David Bowie died that day.
So we all have to take a week out of respect.
And I decided that I was gonna do a little tribute, and I did. I'm uploading it right now. It's taking forever to upload. Probably isn't helping that I'm recording on the same computer I'm uploading on.
Eh.
But it'll get up there eventually. And it's just a little. I just covered Space Oddity
Yeah. Oh,
on
nice.
ukulele. So it's not like super great quality, but I was just like, I want to do it.
That's cool.
I felt like it was cathartic. It felt good.
Yeah. Did you see the one that I posted? The dude in the space station who did it?
Yeah, Chris Hadfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome.
He did that like a million years
Yeah,
ago.
it was a while ago,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But I guess I think they
It's just-
actually took it down because they like they had the rights to have it up for a year,
Oh, really?
and
I didn't
then
know
they
that.
had to take it down. So I guess they let them put it back up
Yeah.
as a tribute.
Well, it's
So
like, what are
that's-
you gonna do about it at that point? You sue NASA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think like they probably were like, we're doing this.
Yeah.
For
Well,
them.
yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I don't think anyone can fault you for that. But yeah, that dude's awesome. I've seen some of his videos. He does some really cool stuff.
He got kicked out of a movie theater in Canada during Gravity. You know the movie
Really?
Gravity?
Yeah.
Because he was like,
Just ripping
that
it
wouldn't
apart.
happen. Like he kept yelling out factual inaccuracies during the movie, so they kicked him out of
That's
the movie
awesome.
theater. And because he's Canadian. That's
Yeah,
why
I was saying he's like one of like the 3 good Canadians on Earth.
I just
Well,
thought
he's
that-
not on Earth. He's in the space station, so he's perfect.
I just thought it was hilarious that he's seeing the movie Gravity and he's just
Yeah.
like yelling, that wouldn't happen. It's just like-
The least apologetic Canadian.
But yeah, so I will put a link to the description to. I put it on my YouTube channel, Just Speaks with Words, which is also, I guess, I want to start doing that again as a hobby.
Yeah, but not like I have to do this every week kind of thing.
Yeah.
Every day or
So-
whatever.
It'd be nice to aim for once a week.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna. It's not.
Not gonna kill yourself.
Not gonna kill myself.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to keep an eye on my channel, Josh Speaks with Words on YouTube, I might be putting stuff up there, and some of it might be related to this, depending. Maybe I'm working on a song and I want to share it or something
Demo
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
Although I feel like if I demoed a song, I'd probably put it on the Adults in Training YouTube instead.
Why not both?
Yeah, that's true. And then,
Yeah.
my laugh.
Okay.
So, my laugh in the first podcast, I don't know if it's just me being like really self-conscious, but it bothered me a lot.
I'd have to listen to it again.
Yeah.
You were also sick that day, so.
But I was laughing at everything.
Yeah.
And I think I was self-conscious while recording that podcast, so I was just laughing. at
Nervous
it. It's
laughing.
like, ha 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 ha. So I don't know. I just wanted to point out, and I noticed that I had a much better handle on it during
Yeah.
the second podcast. But I actually cut out some of my laugh while editing the first podcast
Did you
because
really?
it bothered me so much. Yeah.
One day we should put the unedited director's cut. Well, not director's cut because we didn't cut it. It's late. It's
okay.
9:30, guys. I'm usually in bed by now.
So the next thing I have on the follow-up is Gary jamming.
You're an old person too, Sam.
So me and Gary have actually been jamming a lot of the songs.
Oh, the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading the show notes and I was curious about what you
Gary
were jamming.
meant.
Especially with Gary. I mean,
this is the infamous Garibald.
Yeah, our friend Gary Ball. Lord of country music.
He was like over one day and we wanted to get coffee or something, and he came over and I played one of the songs for him, and he was like, I think this would be better in this key, like, and I was like, oh, let me try that. And I was like, oh, that is better. And then he was like, maybe we should try that on guitar instead of ukulele. And I was like, okay. And like, we just ended up.
So did he actually do anything, or just criticize your work and make you change?
No, he actually like took the guitar from me and was
Okay.
trying different like chords and
Either
stuff.
way, it's cool, but it'd be funnier if he just sat there and pointed out what was wrong with what you were doing.
I mean, I need that too.
I know.
Constructive criticism.
I'm just knowing Gary especially. It would just be like, well, yeah, ukulele's fine, but
He did do a few little things like that. It was really funny. Like he's like, I don't know about that chord. Like, and I was just like, well, I like that chord there.
well, I like it, so. How do fart sounds come up on here? Pretty good, I hope. It's a pretty high quality microphone, right? In our sound studio.
It's totally not a $20 mic.
It's more expensive than mine.
I am hoping to get like a decent mic.
Well, yeah, with the millions we make off the podcast.
Yeah, so I was jamming with him, and I think I'm gonna make an effort to do that. Maybe even make it part of a goal or something.
That'd be
like that.
cool.
Because we even started writing another song together. He did like a bass line, and then I was riffing off of that with guitar, and it was going pretty well. So the next thing, so we get this less.
You missed G.
Oh, shout out to Christian for the art. Okay.
There we go. Done.
Christian
Moving on.
Christian Lolly did the art for the podcast. He did the logo, which I'm really happy with, and it's really cool. And he's done logos and stuff for me before. And I'm gonna put a link in the description to his art Tumblr, because he doesn't have like an art Facebook or anything.
Yeah.
But I know he is definitely willing to take commissions and stuff like that and get money for art.
Nice.
And if you guys like his style, you like his stuff, send
He'll
him a
take
message.
money for other things too, if the price is right.
I know he'd be happy to do that. If you want to start a podcast, you need a logo. If you want your favorite ship drawn.
Any weird stuff, he'll draw it.
But yeah, Christian's great at art, and he's like one of my go-to people with that kind of thing. So, the next thing. So, last episode, we got a question, actually, and it was from Christian, about how do we keep track of all of our ideas and
Yes.
projects and all of that.
Yeah.
And I had talked about how one of my things was a notebook I had gotten recently.
Yeah.
And how I had like just gotten into using it, had it for like a month, and I really liked doing it, and it was really helpful. And I washed it.
How'd that go?
In the laundry. It's gone now. It's in notebook heaven.
Oh, well.
with
all your ideas.
with all my ideas.
All of them. He actually has to start the album over, redo all of his goals because he has no proof that they exist.
Well, I'm really happy that all of my lyrics I wrote down on Google Docs. I have like a folder.
Yeah, I made sure I have everything
side.
saved as files, and I also put everything on Google Docs just in case.
So I'm glad I did that, because otherwise I would be out of luck.
Yeah.
So that brings us to our goals. So do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
Goals we achieved, if we achieved them.
I achieved.
You achieved.
Yeah. Oh, first thing I learned.
Oh, you should say what your goal is.
Oh, my goal was to. This was how I phrased my goal last time. A forward and a chapter of 5 pages or more. So, a couple things I learned. Forward. You can't do a forward for your own book. I thought forward and preface were interchangeable. Forwards can only be done for other people's books. If it's an author doing their own forward, it's a preface.
So you meant preface.
Yes. Or a forward. If somebody wants a forward for a book they're writing, I'm happy to write it for the right price. Yes, I did achieve my preface. It needs some work because I've never prefaced anything before.
Yeah.
So I'd probably like to tweak it a little bit and change some stuff up. And I did get 5 pages, which I was happy with. I was actually really happy as I was going along with, like, at first I was writing and I was like, okay, I've come to like 2.5-ish pages, and I'm like, I'm really happy with just wrapping this up right here. But I'm like, but I did commit to a page limit, even though I don't like to be put in a box, because this is 2016 now. Unlike last time we recorded, I believe.
Oh yeah, it was 2015. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy Christmas, one. But no, I hit like 2.5 pages, and I'm like, this could be a good place to stop. And I'm like, nah, I'll just keep writing. And later I decide, like, if I like to stop there, I can always just make it a second thing. And like, so I kind of just pushed the story forward, and I realized, like, I was trying to get it perfect, and so I was having a hard time. And I kind of realized it was probably more important to just, like, get the story on there and worry about details later. Like, that's what editing's for.
Yeah. So,
like, I didn't include super detailed landscape descriptions. Like, you're not going to read 4 pages of what Lothlorien looked like. Thanks, Tolkien. But I was pretty happy with what I came up with.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a saying, what was it, like 10% of writing is writing and 90% is rewriting?
Yeah.
It's something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the exact...
Some percentages.
Yeah. So you achieved your goal. Good
Yes.
job.
I was worried because you were like, well, if you don't, I hope you don't, because the punishment's going to be so scary. So I was pretty determined.
Okay, and my goal was write a song on ukulele. I actually ended up writing 2 songs.
Succeed with style.
The first song I wrote was not on ukulele. It was on guitar. It was a song about Star Wars. Because last time we were talking about how I couldn't get Star Wars out of my head, and how I started writing a bunch of Star Wars songs. Wait,
Perfect. We need 1 per podcast.
1 per podcast.
So there's 2.
So I had this song. I had the chorus of the song I had started writing stuck in my head in the Star Wars song, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So I was like, I guess that means I like the song, so I should finish it.
Probably.
And I did finish it, and I was like, well, I didn't write the song on uke. I wonder if that still counts. I was like,
nope.
Yeah, that's why I didn't. I was like, no, Mike is gonna hold this, and he's gonna punish me, even though I wrote a song. So I'm gonna write another song on uke.
To be fair, I would have just made you perform it on ukulele live in front of all of our fans.
But here's the thing, and I'm gonna whoop your ass if you try to do this. I ended up moving it to guitar because it sounds better on guitar. This is when
This is Gary's fault.
Yeah,
Gary has to do the punishment.
But I'm not taking a punishment because I wrote it the day we were gonna record last time, and you canceled and moved it on me, so it would have counted last time.
So can we agree that Gary gets the punishment then?
Gary can get the punishment.
Okay,
I don't
that's
know
fair. I mean, he's weak-willed enough that we can force him to do it. You might want to cut that out, or at least we force him to do it before he listens to this. One or the other.
One or the other. So,
we'll get Kimmy to force him.
But I feel like I did a lot. I wrote 2 songs, but I also think that it kind of showed me that writing 1 song might be too easy of a goal. So
That's
I think
fair.
I need to step up my game, and if I keep going with the song goal, it should be 2 songs.
Okay. Wow, you're gonna be done in like no time. Long before I will, at least. Because
Well-
I'm not going past. I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna do 30 chapters this week. Because I have a job.
Well, the problem. I have a job too. The problem is, I mean, these songs aren't gonna stay the way they are. I've
Yeah.
already started like redrafting them
Yeah.
and stuff, and they're not gonna. I'm gonna have to add in other musical instruments, find other people to help.
Right.
So like, it seems easy now.
I know. I know what you mean. Well, yeah, recording a song and writing a song are not the same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So yeah, I achieved that goal, and then weirdly unachieved it, but still made progress.
Like, well, I really wanted somebody to get this punishment this week, so I thought it was really funny, so I'm going to purposely fail my goal.
But it does sound a lot better on guitar than
okay.
ukulele. So I wrote a sad song.
You'll get that ukulele punk album someday.
I actually think that the next goal I'm gonna do. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We'll get. But I do want to do the rewards now because we were just talking about it.
Okay.
This is the reward. So I was inspired because of my own failures as a human being.
Well, this could go a lot of different ways then.
Get us both
Aww.
notebooks.
Geniuses choose green.
Because you're like, yeah, that's exactly why I got you a green notebook. And there was only one green one left. And I was like, gray isn't green, but at least it's like sleek and,
Yeah.
you know.
So it's like the future.
I also got us, I don't know if they're actually nice, but they were, it's one of the more expensive.
At least expensive pens.
The little pens to go with it. So we each, I mean, I'm not going to be offended if you don't use that pen.
I'm going to. I actually am very weird about the pens I use. Like for Trib, the role-playing game, not the book, I actually have, like, I've gone through 2 pens writing for the game, and I stick with those pens. I don't know why. I just...
So I got us, so now you can carry on the notebook and write junk.
Perfect.
Because you talked about how you never do that.
Yep. I was actually thinking about that today, and I found this tiny little notebook in my... Like, these are, like, pretty hefty. It's 100 pages, like the notebook. It's like a small, like, pocket guy. But, like, I have one at home that was like a, like, it must be like 25, 30 pages. And, like, it wasn't this style. Like, this is like the top flip-up notepad. It was like more like a bound notebook.
Yeah.
But, like, tiny, like pocket size. I was like, I guess I can start carrying this around. But then I start writing in it. I'm taking up, like, 2 lines with my letters because it's so small. And I'm like, I'm gonna fill this in 3 days.
I liked this one because it's a plastic cover, so it holds up better than the paper ones which fall off.
Yeah, the one I had was paper.
And I think it's good for, like, it's like a butt, like,
Yeah.
Because this is about the size I have.
It fits perfectly in your butt.
Yeah, in your butt.
Yep.
So in the butt pocket of
You have to wash it if it's in your butt, Sam. That's unsanitary.
of my jeans. So yeah, I thought that'd be a cool reward.
I thought that was pretty good.
I was like, well, I ruined my other one anyway, and I know I achieved my goal, so...
So at least I get one. The other one, I don't know what my punishment would have been. Maybe eat it.
I probably would have still given it to you, and given you the punishment I had in mind, which I'm not going to say, because I want to save it, because
That's fine.
It's pretty sucky.
I came up with the perfect punishment and reward for next week. So I really hope that one of us succeeds and one of us fails. Because it works best that way.
Okay. Maybe I'll fail on purpose.
Okay.
Maybe not. We'll see.
It's not that bad. It's not as bad as eating a cookie covered in ketchup or chugging a 10% alcohol beer while you're recording.
I don't know why I put this here. This is questions.
Oh, questions.
That should have stayed in the follow-up. I
Yeah, that
guess.
was weird.
That's okay. We'll do questions now.
Sure.
We have one question.
That's perfect.
Will you both be sharing partial works as the podcast goes, or do we have to wait until everything is finished?
I wonder who asked that.
It was Sam.
Sam in Philadelphia.
Sam in Philadelphia asked us that on Facebook. Sam is my girlfriend.
She's not supposed to support.
So
One of our
I don't know.
loyal
What
listeners.
do you think about this?
I think that it would be good. I think it would help people keep interested. And it's one thing to be like, I completed my goal this week. I completed my goal this week. If we have nothing to show for it, yeah, I can lie through my teeth all day.
Yeah.
Especially if no one can see me. Like, I can say anything and people will believe it. I have that convincing voice. You have that laugh, so they balance out. But yeah, I feel like we should like post stuff up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Just like little things, like maybe do like a demo of a song. Like maybe it's even like a rough demo, like the song's not even finished, or I could post up like the preface that I wrote this past week or past however many weeks it's been.
Okay.
2-ish weeks.
So would you rather do that separate from the podcast, or maybe sometimes do stuff on the podcast? My concern with this is there are people who don't like spoilers at all.
That's true.
So there might be people who are like, well, I don't want to hear it on the podcast because I want to be able to.
Yeah, I'd say maybe if I don't know how our website works because I've never tried to do anything with it yet. But maybe if there's a way to do it, post them separately on the website.
I can post them on the website.
A little link like collected works or collected demos anyway.
And I think if we get enough listeners, we could start a Patreon, and then for Patreon supporters, they could even get like bonus demo
That would
content.
be cool.
Yeah, and like
or nude pics.
I definitely would rather also do some stuff for all the listeners because I know not everyone can afford to be a patron, but we need to get more listeners before we can start a Patreon.
Right? Yeah, that's down the road a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about goals follow. Okay, so I put a couple of topics here because I wasn't really sure what to talk about. We're like 40 minutes in, so I just want to pick one. Two of them are kind of involved. One of them I think we might want to save for like a punishment week when one of us fails. Yeah. Okay, we'll save that one.
Okay.
So I want to talk about, unless you had a topic idea.
I actually didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
Yeah. I'll come up with the topic next week.
Okay. So
next 2 weeks.
How to create things that are emotional and tough. So this came up when I was writing my last song.
Yeah.
It's called Recovery, and I'm pretty open about this, but I suffer from depression from time to time. I guess that's why it's called chronic depression.
that is potentially the case.
And I was like, one of my ideas for the album is to address mental illness, probably in a couple songs.
Okay.
And so I wrote a song called Recovery, which is about dealing with depression and kind of like trying to get out of it, but also like while you're simultaneously stuck in it, kind of thing.
The inevitability of
like falling back into it and just dealing with it in general. Like the first line is like, some days it's hard to even get out of bed, which I think a lot of people with depression can relate to, and other mental illness as well. And it was just like, it wasn't super difficult, but it was a little awkward writing it.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes it can be tough to make things that like that can be emotional, or even like, I feel like we were talking about Guts by Chuck Palahniuk. I feel like it probably wasn't easy to write that stuff. Like, I don't know.
I hope it wasn't easy to write that stuff.
I know there are some people who are like, nothing bothers me.
Yeah.
But even things that not even that are emotionally problematic for you because there's something you're going through, something that just might be like really disturbing, or maybe like you're writing a book and you want to write about a character who's like abused, or
something
like
horrible happening to a character, or
like,
even if it's just like killing a character that like you personally are really attached to and don't want to kill, but you know for the story it's the right thing to do.
So how do you create things when it's emotionally tough to do so? That's what I'm looking for. Do you have any advice on this?
I'd say, I mean, I feel like it's different depending on your medium sometimes. Like with music, I feel like a lot of times you're pulling from like personal things, which I can definitely understand why that would be difficult, because it's like you're kind of bearing your soul. With writing like a story, I think a lot of times you do pull like emotions and stuff from things you've gone through before, but it's a little easier to disguise it because you can kind of hide it behind your characters and kind of project it onto them instead of worrying about yourself.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know, a lot of times it's like, I feel like if you're writing something, whether it's music or a novel or a newspaper article, I said that last time when we were recording because I couldn't think of anything to write. I feel like you kind of just know if it's emotional or tough, and I feel like if you don't feel anything like doing it, it's going to come off as disingenuous, or it won't elicit the response that you're hoping for. I mean, and maybe that's not true. My experience writing is a lot less extensive than some people, but that's how it is for me at least. Like, I'll be writing something and I'll be like, oh my god, this is like really emotional. And like, I'll recognize it's really good, and I'll be like, I feel this way. I assume it's going to make other people feel this way.
Yeah.
Whereas, I guess, I mean, I don't know, you can can probably distill it to some kind of science, like if you're George Martin and just like to rip people's hearts out for a living. But I feel like the average person is not blessed with that gift.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's pulling from something personal, in some sense or another.
I also find that, well, at least musically for writing, and actually it's probably big with poetry too, because if you're writing lyrics, it's pretty much the same
Yeah.
writing poetry. If you get through it, it might be tough while you're doing it, but it's also super cathartic.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times you feel better afterwards.
Right, so you're holding a breath the whole time and then you just kind of
Yeah.
let everything out.
Yeah. So the song, The Recovery, I was like really glad that I got through it and wrote it after
Yeah.
I wrote it.
I know what you mean.
But I know it can be hard during it
Right.
to be like, I don't want to finish this. This is making me upset.
Yeah.
But it's like, try to keep in mind there's that light at the end of the tunnel. And I know that's like, can be some of the most annoying advice ever.
Yeah.
But it's the only advice I can think to give right here.
Yeah. I mean, I also feel like not to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Not to like stereotype or point out anything potentially obvious, I guess, but there's a reason that a lot of the most tortured musicians and poets and stuff usually put out the best shit. Or at least the most emotional stuff. So you have people like John Lennon on your magnet there, who had a really good message with a lot of his stuff, but was a pretty twisted up dude in real life. Or I don't know, Jim Morrison. Don't want to die like Jim Morrison.
No, I don't want to die like Jim Morrison.
But like people like that, like they have a lot of crap they're dealing with, but that kind of stuff comes through and it resonates with people because other people go through that stuff too, and I think they can kind of connect.
Also, I know you don't mean this, I'm going to clarify. We are not romanticizing being mentally ill or things like that, so you're going to be a better writer.
No, you have to be.
There are people who do that, who
I
are
know.
like, you need to be sad and drunk
Yeah.
to be...
No, and you can still write awesome songs and not be any of those things. Where I'm just talking about for like, if you're trying to... I mean, the question is how to create things that are emotional or tough.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it's hard to do something tough when there's no strong feeling behind it.
That's true, too.
Like, you can write a catchy Star Wars tune, which I heard the Star Wars tune. It was pretty catchy and it was fun. And there was actually, I guess there was some emotion behind it, but it was like...
It was like positive.
happiness.
Yeah.
And it's like... So it's a lot different than if you're trying to write something like sad or bittersweet or whatever, just because... And I think that stuff really comes through, especially when you're performing it.
Yeah.
So... But no, you do not have to be... But you also don't have to have a mental illness to be sad or
That's
go
true.
through hard things.
I was just...
But yeah, that is a good thing to clarify. Yeah.
Because I know people who are like, oh, I want to be an alcoholic like Ernest Hemingway, so...
I want to join NAMBLA.
I also, so tied into this is how to work when you're sad. Clever, not just sad, angry, upset, whatever, like
Yeah.
that might put it, but like, maybe you know you have to work.
Yeah.
You have to get something done. Or you don't want to, like, you have a project you're trying to get done, and you know if you stop doing it, it'll get harder to start again, and just because you're in a bad mood,
Right.
stop. So that's kind of like the second part of this topic. Because I was like in a bad mood that day. And so I think that's one thing to do is put that emotion into the work.
Right.
Is one of my pieces of advice. But that doesn't always work depending on what you're working on.
Depending on how you're feeling, and yeah.
Yeah. So if you're doing music and you're making an album and you're like, I'm really angry today, you can write an angry song. But if maybe you're working on a novel,
Yeah.
and you're angry, but
And
you're
trying to write a love scene.
Yeah, you're trying to write a love scene, and it's like you could go forward and write an angry scene, but that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
So, what are some things to do to get through that, or do you think you should take a break?
I mean, I think it really depends on the situation. I think that you can channel it, let the hate flow through you, so to speak. Big fan of that. But I think a lot of the time, at least for me personally, when I'm experiencing something like really negative and I'm in like a really bad headspace, especially if it's like I'm really sad or really angry or whatever, but I know I have to get this done, knowing that I have to get something done often makes it worse, because I sit down and I want to be anywhere but there, and so then the things I channel into that work are the wrong things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to write a love scene, but all I'm feeling is angry right then, and it just all falls like completely flat. And so I think a lot of times it's good to recognize that and realize, like, yeah, you might have a deadline, but if you're putting out shit to get to your deadline, what's the point of hitting your deadline?
Yeah.
So a lot of times for me, I do have to kind of walk away and kind of regroup and figure out where I'm going to go from there. So
I think one piece of advice I'd give is try to do things you know will bring you out of that mood, I guess.
it's a good idea.
So maybe like, I'm trying to think. I mean, if you know a coffee will cheer you up, go and get coffee and
Right.
come back to it.
Yeah.
Like, if you know that watching a comedy will put you in the right mood, or
Yeah.
I don't know, sex, whatever. Like
Sex, whatever. You know,
You know, reading
reading
in bed.
bed.
reading bed.
Reading in bed is what I meant to say.
Looking at the steak book.
That's
Cook,
cool.
cooking, eating, whatever like you think will put you. So basically, do a little, treat yourself.
Yeah,
Do a little
treat yourself.
emotional pampering to
Yeah.
get yourself out of that. And that doesn't always work, but it's better to try it and fail.
Well, yeah.
Then-
I mean, it's always better to try and make yourself feel better than stew in your own crap.
Yeah.
And,
But if you like know like I have this deadline,
but yeah,
and it's like, oh, I'm gonna stew and try to work through it. Like maybe it's better like to get as much as you can done by taking a break and cheering yourself up and then doing it.
right.
Also, I'd recommend maybe doing something else that's productive that
I know what
isn't
you mean.
emotional. Like,
Yeah, it's like something like you can still feel good about yourself for having done it,
Yeah.
but it's not going to influence like your creative works.
Yeah.
So like clean your room, but no, don't do that. That's boring.
Or it could even be part of the project. So it could even be part of the project. So like if I was working on adult in training, and I'm having trouble with editing, like I'm just not in the mood to do it. It's like
Yeah.
I could go work on the social media sites,
Yeah.
or I could work on the project itself, or something
Right.
like that. Or maybe I'm having trouble with the project, or I can go work on adults in training, like vice versa. Just something like that. I think it's a good way. And sometimes you can like it can be part of the emotional pampering. Like
Yeah.
it's like me recording that Bowie tribute is like a way to help.
Yeah, you kind
Like
of
I'm feeling sad. Yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah.
sad about Bowie's death. So I'm gonna do a Bowie tribute, and it's like I still practice guitar and ukulele by playing those songs, and it might not be like directly productive, but still in a way it's indirectly productive. It helped me practice. I got in the mood to play music after playing it. So
That makes sense.
I think it's hopeful. Oh, we have to set new goals.
Set new goals.
Yeah, so-
you can go first this time.
Okay, so I'm going to write 2 songs, and I'm gonna write them. I'm not gonna say on uke or on guitar. I'm gonna say on 2 different instruments. So
Okay.
because maybe I can get Garibald's piano to work, because we were trying to find a chord for it.
Nice.
Maybe I could write a song on there, or maybe it might just end up being guitar and uke, because that's what I have.
Yeah.
And hopefully I'll be able to keep it on the instrument. But I mean, songs progress, so it's not a big deal if they don't
Yeah.
stay on. But I'm gonna try to write 2 songs on 2 different instruments, and I'm going to try to work on not necessarily those songs, but music in general with someone else.
Right. Try and get some collabs or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Because I've already been doing that, and I'm like, this is probably a good thing to get used to, because I'm gonna have to record with other people.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know if this is gonna be Josh Wistowski's album, or is it gonna be a band's album? That's something
Josh
I
and
haven't,
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't decided that
Josh and
yet.
Friends.
So, but either way, even if it's my album, I'll still probably need other help
Yeah.
to recording, because I can't play every instrument.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play bass, for example.
Yeah.
Gary and Don know how to play bass.
I used to play bass.
Really?
Stand-up bass.
It
Same thing.
transfers. Yeah.
Turn it sideways and it's 6 times as big. But,
Maybe I'll get some stand-up bass now. Stand-up bass album. We have to get one in.
Yep, we have to. It's true.
So yeah, those are my goals: 2 songs on 2 different instruments, and work on not necessarily those songs, but it could be those songs, but music in general. Maybe songs I've already written with other people.
So for me, I think my goal is just going to be to do another chapter. Like,
It makes sense.
yeah, I'm not really. That's the thing. Like, I feel like with music, you can have a lot of cool different goals. I'm struggling
Do you
to come up with different goals.
do you want a suggestion from me? It's
Sure.
a weird goal, but it
I like getting
something
weird.
you're gonna hate.
Then no.
Set up author social media accounts or book social media accounts.
Ugh. I'll consider it.
But maybe not. It might not be the goal you want to do this time.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if maybe you find writing a chapter is too easy and you need to add to it.
Yeah.
But
We'll see.
yeah.
Maybe we should have a succeed with style goal. That could be it. So.
I think that's everything. Did you have anything you wanted to add?
I don't think so.
Anything from the audience? We already got our rewards.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to keep with the follow up. Made
Yeah.
sense. Alright.
Sweet. We should have a cool sign off.
I don't know. That's our cool sign up.
That can be both of our goal for next week.
Come up with a cool sign off.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't do it because of the
Another day, another adventure.
Oh my god.
So rude. Get out of my house. Just kidding, this isn't my house.
That's from a YouTube channel I used to run with my girlfriend called a Jam Session. For those of
They
you,
basically just sampled different jams for. It was really boring.
it's not what it was at all. Like at all. Alright.
Another day, another adventure.
Kill you.